Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're doing well. Come on with us to the book of Job. Job chapter 1 verse 8. The devil comes and appears before the Lord, and as Job begins, and the Lord asks the devil where he's been. Of course, the devil had been up to no good. Job 1 verse 8 says, Then the Lord said to Satan, Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil? Have you considered Job, he says. That pretty much sounds like James chapter 5. James chapter 5 at verse 10, it says, My brethren, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord as an example of suffering and patience. Indeed, we count them blessed who endure. You have heard of the perseverance of Job, and seen the end intended by the Lord, that the Lord is very compassionate and merciful. You need to consider Job. Think about the patience that he had. Certainly, we are called to be patient. We are called to be patient in trials, right? This verse talks about suffering and patience. We have trials where perhaps we lose loved ones. We have trials involving our livelihood. We have trials involving our health. Job had trials in all of those areas, and he had to have patience in them. We do as well. But also we have to have patience with those who are in our lives. When you're married, you have to have patience with your spouse. Job's wife was not everything that she needed to be. He had lost a lot of loved ones, but she was still there. And while she was also, we'll talk about it here in a moment, a sorry comforter herself, as she tells Job to curse the Lord and die, but at the same time they remained married. Spouses have to have patience with one another. They are bound together, and you have to have patience when you are together with someone. You also have to have patience with friends. Sometimes friends are not everything that they need to be. Job had those friends, and he does call them sorry comforters. They weren't they weren't what they needed to be. Well, Job had to have patience with them. He spoke straightly to them all. He spoke straightly to his wife. He spoke straightly to his friends. But that's what we have to do. We speak straightly to our friends. But at the same time, we have to have patience. We have to have patience with them and bring them along to where they need to be too. We have to have patience with ourselves. Remember, Job deplored the day of his birth. So in a sense, we have to have patience with ourselves as well. We also, of course, have to have patience with God. Job did not understand why this was happening. And of course, the friends want him to lay the blame at the Lord, at the Lord's feet. The Lord hadn't done it, but the Lord had allowed it to happen. You have to have patience with God, because sometimes, remember the end intended by the Lord. He's very compassionate and merciful. You got to have patience. You don't need to have patience with the devil, though, is who you do not need to have patience with. You have to hold to your integrity. You have to shun evil. So have patience with all, except for the devil. Good advice. Hope you enjoyed this study today. God bless you. Be a blessing to others. We hope to see you tomorrow morning.